Hi, I'm Josh, and this is my album review for AC/DC's Power Up. Now, I think this is a really great album. Yeah, it comes together really well. All the tracks are pretty cool. They're actually all unreleased uh, tracks from previous albums over the last 30 plus years that Angus and Malcolm wrote, but they never quite made an album. And they went back into the vault and dug all these tracks up and thought, well, let's just do them. Let's release an album and see what people think. And yeah, I think it's great. Classic sounding AC/DC. Quite a lot of these tracks. They brought back the classic lineup for this album: Brian and Cliff and Phil, and obviously Stevie Young, Malcolm and Angus's older brother, plays guitar for instead of Malk. And yeah, this album is dedicated to Malcolm Young, which is cool. It says it on the inside of the album. It says dedicated to Malk, which is really cool. Yeah, everything sounds awesome. Brian Johnson's vocals has improved massively since the last time I heard them. I don't know if it's because he's got older and they just got better with age. It's just, yeah, I thought they were excellent and everybody was really good. I love Cliff Williams' bass and Phil Rudd's drumming. You know what you're going to get. Just keep everything in time. And yeah, Angus's guitaring is really awesome. Right, let's just get into the tracks. My top three. This was hard to make a top three because there's a good 5, 6, 7 tracks that could have made it. But in the end, I went with Shot in the Dark, Demon Fire, and Systems Down. Let's start with Shot in the Dark. I think that was the first single that got released. It's absolutely awesome track, wicked guitar solo, and I love the bluesy kind of riff at the start, and then it just goes classic AC/DC. Yeah, this could be a track that they play live if they do gig. Demon Fire, that's just sounded just like off Highway to Hell or Back in Black, really. Classic bluesy rock and roll kind of sound. The vocals are really cool. He kind of gets the Bon Scott kind of vibe with that track, which is really cool. Yeah, he does a pretty cool guitar solo on that song as well. And then Systems Down. Yeah, that is a brilliant track. Sounds like it a little bit Razor's Edge kind of feel to that track. Yeah, the bass riff that he plays in that song is really cool, and yeah, another really awesome. I think that's probably the best guitar solo on the album, although maybe Money Shot as well. But yeah, it's just brill. Let's just quickly go through the rest of the album. Realise, that's a pretty cool opener to the album. Real catchy, kind of groovy, kind of sounding song. Some cool riffs. Just classic sound. Rejection is the next track. That's another solid song. Yeah, the vocals are on point. Very classic again. You know what you're going to get with AC/DC with these songs. It's like you kind of already know what's happening with these tracks. It's going to be like a couple of cool little riffs, solo. Through the Mist of Time. That one was not my favourite. That one, and we'll get onto it in a minute, but No Man's Land as well. They're like my two least favourite tracks. I thought the chorus riff was pretty cool, but apart from that, it's just a little bit meh for me. Kick You When You're Down and Witch's Spell, two awesome tracks that could have made the top three. Some pretty awesome guitar riffs. I love the start of Kick You When You're Down. It's very kind of a bit different to the rest of the album, but it kind of has the AC/DC feel again. Yeah, same with Witch's Spell. Some really cool guitar riffs in there. Yeah. Wild Reputation. I like that song. It's a one of the tracks that I think is a little bit too short. It's about 2 minutes 50 something, and it should be a bit longer because I think it's a pretty cool track, but I think it could have been better with a bit more going on with it. But yeah, still a cool track. No Man's Land, yeah, my least favourite song. It's a little bit bland, and it's kind of just like, it would have been a much better album if that song wasn't on there. It would have been a much better album. Money Shot next. I really love this track. You know, the album ends really strong. If you take No Man's Land out of it'd be a really solid album. But yeah, the last 3 songs are really, really solid. Yeah, I love the riffs in Money Shot. The chorus is really, really cool, and the guitar solo is probably the best one on the album. Yeah, the bass in that track as well is really cool. And then it ends with Code Red. It's a real awesome ending song, really. It's pretty cool, classic sounding as well. Yep, it's a great way to end the album, really. And yeah, if this is going to be the last AC/DC album, then they've ended on an absolute banger, really, I think. If this is going to be the last AC/DC album, then yeah, they've done Malk proud as well with this album, even though he wrote all the songs. But yeah, rating wise, I think I'll give this album an 8.5 out of 10. It would have been a 9 if No Man's Land wasn't there. I don't want to diss on that song too much, because I don't know, it might be your favourite song. Somebody out there, it's going to be somebody's favourite song, so sorry, whoever that is. I just didn't like it. But if that song wasn't on there, I would give it a 9 out of 10, because it is that good. It's just so fun, that album. It's just, you know what you're getting with AC/DC. Just stick it on, and it's just a good time. I was loving it when I listened to it the first time through. It was absolutely brilliant. It went by like that. It was just gone. It's such a good album, and I'd definitely recommend it if you haven't picked it up. Yeah, so that's it for this album review. I'd love to know what you think of this album if you've listened to it. And I'd also love to know what your favourite AC/DC album is of all time, because there's quite a few to pick from. I'd probably go Back in Black, or maybe Highway to Hell, one of those two, but I don't know. Yeah, like this video if you've liked it, sub if you haven't already, share with people that you think would like my content, check out the playlists if you are new and you want to have a look at the other content that I've made, and any feedback on any of these videos is much appreciated, because I want to make them better if I can. So yeah, until the next one, keep it rock.